All right, live. There it is. All right,
Hello.
Good evening. What is up, guys? Back for another live commentary with Jay, this time streaming from my channel to keep it on life support, I guess, for now. There were a lot of options for tonight's selection, but I don't know. I was just looking through Prime like a few days ago, looking at all the stuff, thinking about live commentaries, and I know we have a couple other things to follow up on, like Police Story 2 and the first Highlander, among a few other like action movies that I thought are fun to do. But this sort of jumped out at me. It's a movie I actually own. So this is The Prophecy from 1995. Very old DVD of it, old enough to have widescreen as a feature. It also says that the theatrical trailer is included because that's pretty much all that's on here. But this is a movie I remember from the 90s. I remember watching it on video, on VHS, and probably not too long after it came out. It came out in 95, so I probably saw it in 96, 97, something like that for the first time. One of the many movies that I saw on video in Ryan's basement. See, again, it didn't really come on TV. I mean, I think it did a little bit. I think I have some memories of seeing it on TV, but a long time ago. Like, it hasn't been on TV for a while. I think maybe Space, which is what Sci-Fi Channel is. Space might have shown it a few times over the few years. But I bought it because I do like it. It's actually my favorite Christopher Walken performance, honestly, as the Archangel he plays in this. I think he's Gabriel. I don't know. I just always think it's sort of like the quintessential sort of role, because it's a good bridge too. Because it's a bridge between when he was like a good serious actor that had some quirkiness to like when he just like totally gave over to just sort of being kind of a parody of himself. Yeah. I feel like this kind of strikes the perfect balance of that. It's before he's like completely comedic. He still can be somewhat serious and chilling in this movie. He has some dialogue that I really enjoy, and just his mannerisms in the movie I really like. Like, I don't know if that's direction or if that was his own idea. Like, he often will perch on the ledges and things like that, and he hunches down and stuff like that. I like all that a lot. So I'm watching on Prime, but apparently it wasn't available on Jay's without ads, so he had to go to other lengths to get it. But hopefully the version he's
on
found.
YouTube. It's on YouTube. I'm not doing anything shady.
Yeah. You're on some Uzbekistani site.
Yeah. It's loaded with viruses.
But we've got it queued up to like the black screen, because if you have like a normal, I assume like the normal version of it, you've got like two screens first. There's one logo, and then the second logo is Dimension Films. Then it goes to like a black screen about 15 seconds in, which is where I'm at. And then from the black, you get a voiceover starting. I've got the captions on, but probably my volume's up too high. But hopefully that might give anybody, if they're going to watch, time to get it ready. But I don't think anybody's watching it, so it doesn't matter. So I think anybody who's going to watch this is going to have to join us already in progress. So maybe I can give a timestamp further on if people need that. But for now, I guess we don't need a lot of preamble for this. It's just simply The Prophecy. It's not an amazing movie by any stretch of the... But, it's Virginia Madsen. Back when she was, in some pretty good movies in the 90s. She's one of the main characters in this. I guess most, if you're like horror, you remember her as the main character in Candyman. Oh, I went to see Invisible Man. You went to see something in theater too. Did you see a preview for the new Candyman? Because I did. When I went to see Invisible Man, they played a preview for the new Candyman.
I haven't. It was already started when I got in there. It was the very beginning. I try to skip trailers if I can.
Yeah, but, you know how it is with horror trailers. You're really worried about spoilers. I mean, probably, again, they showed stuff they shouldn't have shown, but I mean, I've seen way worse as far as spoilery trailers go. It looks pretty good. Is it still Tony Todd?
No.
It's not. Okay. Because one thing they actually do in the trailer is they pretty much don't show him. Like, you'll hear his voice and you'll like see like, his looming figure or silhouette, but they don't actually show him like outright in the trailer. So there's at least that.
That's probably different than the one that I saw months ago, because it did show the actor. No, they say Tony Todd's in it, but the only place Tony Todd is there's a part where a mirror gets broken, and when the mirror breaks, they have superimposed an image of Tony Todd onto that mirror.
Oh, like it's an alternate universe or something.
they just wanted to say Tony Todd's back,
Mm.
So it's
yeah, I don't know who the guy is, but you do hear his voice. His voice sounds pretty good. It's reminiscent sort of Tony Todd, I guess, kind of menacing. Like I said, he is in the preview, but they don't like show him full on. You might see like his just like sort of his outline or stuff, and it cuts away. So I mean, at least as far as that goes, they did that right. As far as the trailer goes, I don't know. I probably will see it. It's funny. The other thing about going back to the movies was like nothing had a release date. Right. It was all just like coming soon.
Coming soon.
We don't know what to do. We don't know if there's going to be a release date or what's going on or how we should relate it. I mean, I know Tenet is out now, and that's basically because what's his name insisted it be in theaters.
Tenet has been getting steamrolled, man. I haven't really seen too many good reviews on that one yet.
I'm a fan of the director. Why am I? No, there's Christopher Nolan.
Nolan, right?
It feels like Christopher Nolan has like collapsed in onto himself. I think he's like, because you see his movies and they have like, they all have their stamp. This is definitely, a Christopher Nolan movie. This one might be the Nolanist Nolan movie ever made. Like where like I was reading interviews of actors that were in the movie and they don't even know what goes on in the movie. They're like, I don't know. Like I tried to get him to explain it to me and I didn't understand. So I feel like I don't know. I don't know how much the public's going to really eat that up. It seems like it's going to be kind of weird and incoherent. Doesn't mean I won't go see it, but I also think that it's funny that Christopher Nolan's like, it has to be in the theater, and I don't know. I'm one of those people that like totally agrees with all the social distancing rules and stuff like that. But I do think it's possible, like if you time things right, to go to the theater, and it's not going to be a big issue. Because people are saying like, Christopher Nolan wants you to like risk your health to see this movie. I'm like, not if you're smart about it. Like, because when I went to see Invisible Man, there was nobody there. No, they have the spaced out seats anyway, and people wearing masks coming in. But I mean, there was nobody there, and that's pretty much how I realize I have like a much more flexible schedule than the average person, where I can just be like, I'll go make that like 3:15 show on a Wednesday afternoon, which a lot of people can't do. But I'm just saying, the other thing though is like I was looking up times for Tenet. There's only like 4 movies playing at my theater, so Tenet has like 6,000 plays at different times a week. So I'm sure you could fit something in there if you wanted to see it.
Man, I saw the New Mutants on Friday, 7:00 showing. Pretty popular time for movies on a Friday night. I thought I was alone the whole time in this massive theater, but there was a couple, turns out, at the top of the place. Yeah. It was probably 100 feet away from me. We were definitely social distancing.
I'd say so.
But yeah, not good for the theater.
Yeah, so it's weird because those are kind of my 2 main options right now, is Tenet or New Mutants. I'm not really high on either of them, but I'll probably go see one, to do it.
I would see New Mutants. You're not going to like it.
Yeah. I actually haven't seen any of the X-Men in movies in theater except for Logan since like the 3rd one. Like I saw the 3rd one, I was like, nope. And that was the end of that. No, I saw First Class in theater, and First Class is the only one I kind of like. I like First Class to a certain extent. Yeah. I don't hate Logan. I recognize some of the things that make it like a lot better than the other movies, but it's just not the movie I wanted. It's not at all what I wanted.
I'd liked Logan. Okay.
It's a sort of a nice sort of ending for, him playing that character for 17 years. It's sort of a nice send off for that, but I thought he was miscast from the beginning. So
I agree. I did too. I kind of warmed up to him though, once I got past, his height and everything.
Yeah. I mean, he plays it fine. And some of the stuff isn't his fault. It's the writing. Like, why can't they make him talk the way Wolverine talks? Wolverine says stuff like ain't. Yeah. He never says ain't. Wolverine says stuff like flamin'. They think just because every once in a while he calls somebody bub, that's enough. It's not, says the comic geek. But anyway, let's get going with the prophecy here. So yeah, on most things it's like 15 seconds in where the black screen starts, and then you have a voiceover, which I didn't notice at first because I got earphones on. I have it on low, but now I've got the thing. So it's going to start with a voiceover by the angel Simon. So let's go. There's a war raging between heaven and earth, which is a big part of some of Catholicism, which is always fascinating me, which we'll talk about as the movie goes. So let's do a countdown from 3, 2, 1. Ignition. There we go. And we are going.
Let me go grab my New Times Roman so we can read along here.
Yeah, Simon's doing something, talking about the first war and everybody burning and the sky burning.
Is he on the screen for you now?
He is now, yes. Okay. But because there is in the Bible, they do talk about this, like the very first war, where certain angels took Lucifer's side, and it was about, they'll talk about it in the movie, like that they were upset that God had made humans and now seem to be favoring them above the angels, which is really what we're getting here. So, also, Lucifer does show up at the end of this movie, played by Viggo Mortensen. It's an interest. He's only on screen for a little while, but it's pretty cool.
That's a fairly early role for Viggo.
Yeah, it was back before I really knew who he was. Back in like the mid '90s, that era, it was very easy for me to mix him up with other people. Oh, of course, and the main actor in this is what's his name? Casey Jones.
Oh, really? Elias Koteas?
Elias Koteas. He's the main guy in this, and he's a very interesting character because he's a cop who didn't used to be a priest. He took all the things. He was on the path to be a priest, then like stopped at like the last possible moment and became a cop. So he's not actually a cop that used to be a priest, but he's a cop that was very close to becoming a priest. Eric Stoltz is in. Oh, and of course Adam Goldberg's in this, and he's pretty funny. Yeah, I really like Adam Goldberg's scenes with Christopher Walken.
I like Adam Goldberg in general.
Yeah, me too. There it is, Adam Goldberg.
Not Adam. Forget the other Goldberg that does the show Goldbergs. He's Adam Goldberg too, but he's Adam.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Adam F. Goldberg or something.
All right.
Yeah, I think he's.
It's been a few years since I've seen this movie, but I remember it really well because I've seen it a lot of times. Like they talk about there's reference to the Korean War in this.
I haven't seen this since the theater, I don't think.
That's so weird. Yeah, this is a movie that's just been sort of a comfort movie for me that I've seen many times over the years, even though it's been a few years. So one of the first DVDs I bought, probably way back in the day, and just.
I think I've seen all the sequels too.
Sequels
years ago
are really bad.
Yeah.
Even though, as I said beforehand, yeah, Christopher Walken is in the first sequel, but it's still awful. Too bad.
I mean, even if you hate, Christianity, man, you gotta appreciate that ornate detail back there.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, I guess that's the thing sort of about Christianity, particularly like Catholicism, especially when you go to like places in Europe and you see some of the old churches, and then you like realize that like you'd have like these little towns where the peasants lived in like filth because all their money went to like this big, beautiful like cathedral.
Yeah.
Like the tithes and stuff.
Man, I was talking to my mom yesterday about Westminster Abbey and how amazing that place was. We went there. It may have been 95. Very beautiful place.
The biggest one I got to see is I forget the name, but I call it like Notre Dame Light because there's like because in Quebec City. Or kind of outside of Quebec City, there's one that's kind of like an imitation of Notre Dame. It's very beautiful. Did the whole tour there. It's very cool. Yeah, and I've always really loved Notre Dame. Feel terrible about the fires that damaged so much of it.
There was some stuff going on there recently. Didn't it get damaged recently?
Like again?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. There was also some stuff about like some fraud, like some people that like said they were gonna like put money towards like helping fix it, and then they like stole the money or something. There was a few. Yeah. So that's Elias Koteas. This is a flashback to I guess a few years ago. His character Thomas is about to do whatever the final rite or I don't know what it is to be ordained. Right? He's about to be ordained, but he's gonna like I don't know have an epiphany or a sign or something or
20 push-ups.
Yeah. Maybe he does become a priest. I thought like he stops like right before him. We'll find out. Yeah, exactly. Get down and give us 20 for the Lord. It's not too weird. I mean, they make you do Hail Marys. Catholicism, right?
Oh, it's all about repetition.
But yeah, Nova Scotia is heavily Catholic, but my father was Catholic, although it was not Roman Catholic. He was Orthodox Catholic for the Ukrainian side of his family, but I just mean, so I wasn't Catholic, but almost all my friends and stuff were, and I was always really interested when they told me about stuff about church, and because it was all very theatrical, you know, the kneeling and things, and
that's one of the reasons it kind of drew me to the religion. Because my wife was Catholic, and I was thinking about converting anyway, but I converted for her because I was Episcopalian before, and just wasn't really happy with that church.
No, okay, that was the thing. He saw too much. It wasn't that he lost his faith; it was that he saw too much or something. Yeah, lots of Bible quotes.
So was Ninja Turtles 89 or 90?
90.
Okay.
But I mean, he was Casey Jones just 2 years before this because he's in the third one, which is 93.
Okay.
So he's only about 2 years removed from the role. I actually watched all three not too long ago. They're fun.
I mean, I haven't seen 3 in a long time, but 2 is doesn't hold up for me.
No. And I mean, they made all those changes, right? It's like, oh, it's too dark and violent to make everything silly. They can't even hit anybody anymore.
That's what made the first one good, though.
Exactly. What a whole bunch of parents were horrified by it. All right, Simon. Is mine too loud? Because I'm hearing it pretty clear even through my...
I can hear it, but it's not bothering me or anything.
Okay. I don't know. Just sometimes these things create echo effects and things.
Because I don't have volume on mine, so it's kind of helping me a little bit.
Okay, sure.
I've got auto-generated Spanish subtitles, but
well, that's helpful. Yeah.
Translating from Latin to English to Spanish.
Beautiful. Couldn't hear that, but apparently it was ethereal tones. Thomas Daggett? Yep, Daggett. Daggett always makes me think of the Batman character, Roland Daggett, who they actually did put in the Nolan trilogy, although they changed his character a bit. He's in Dark Knight Rises. I mean, I don't mind how they changed him there, because he was still basically the same kind of character in that he was like a crooked businessman. I just hate it like when they do these comic book movies, not to change the subject or anything, where they just take a name and just drop it and put it on another character. I'm just like, if you're going to change the character that much, don't bring up a familiar name. I can't stand that. Like that's what they did in the Birds of Prey movie that drove me nuts. Like part of the thing is there's a MacGuffin and there's this like street kid pickpocket who's going around, and she's like, you know, she becomes important because she winds up inadvertently getting it, right? So everybody's after her. And yeah, and they make her Asian, and then they're like, that's Cassandra Cain. I'm like, fuck, that's not Cassandra Cain. Like, oh, that drives me nuts. Those who don't know, Cassandra Cain was the second Batgirl, daughter of David Cain and Lady Shiva, the most proficient martial artist in the whole DC universe, considered a better fighter than Batman. And one of my favorites. And I mean, she's in current continuity. She doesn't have the role anymore. Barbara Gordon is restored, but I don't know. Just because of my age and stuff, she's always the Batgirl I preferred. But I couldn't stand that they made like some pudgy street kid Cassandra Cain just because they're like, well, why not? That's Cassandra Cain. No. Here's the guy that dies. Yeah, so that I was mixed. I forgetting. There's more than one. So Simon is going to die later, but this is the guy that dies first.
He has no earpieces for his glasses. They're just on his face. Yeah,
that was a thing in the 90s. Morpheus had those.
Oh, really?
In The Matrix.
How do those work?
This is very 90s when you think about the stuff that you see in The Matrix. Isn't like it's all like badass long coats? Like all the angels wear long coats.
Yeah, and have mullets and stuff.
Yeah.
They're all like rejects from hair bands.
It went a little goth in the 90s.
Yeah. Used to be Typo Negative's bass player.
Good reference. All right, so this is a fight between two angels on the different sides of the war in heaven.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's got some violence to it.
See, oh, the glass got him.
Yeah.
So are they just like mortals? I mean, they can die as easy as people can.
I don't think they can die as easy as people, but they can die.
Ugh.
Because he's dead. You know, it's funny, they make the joke in with the angels in in the Kevin Smith movie Dogma about how they don't have genitalia. They don't do that in this, but they do point out that they're missing like certain things. This guy's missing eyes, but that's not necessarily an angel thing, as we can see. The other angels have eyes, but they do show that they're like missing. They're missing certain things. I think like a belly button.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, that's becoming a thing. People getting their belly buttons removed.
I think that's really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, yes, some people's belly buttons are disgusting, but I think you just have to live with it.
Well, to look like it's like smooth. That's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always been attracted to certain women's belly buttons.
Yeah. I think it would be weird if it wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're going to talk about he's missing his eyes, but he might also, when they do the autopsy, think that he's like, maybe they're stuck in the radiator grill. There's one of those cops that's seen it all. His eyes, they're probably over there somewhere. But they're going to do like an autopsy too, and I think they're going to find he's missing some other things too, or something.
He doesn't have a penis or an anus.
He bleeds blood though.
Yeah.
Angels are so like unclearly defined in the Bible, and because they're just these types of things that get like mentioned and then never explained or never mentioned again. There's a lot of that, like stuff about the seraphim. It can get really in depth, but also not. It's weird. But I mean, the angels you hear about are like the archangel Gabriel, Michael. I'm pretty sure Matt Damon is Gabriel in Dogma, where it's like his job to like use his flaming sword to kill people.
Yeah, I've never seen Dogma.
It's definitely worth this. See, I've always loved it. I mean, I know I'm a Kevin Smith fan, but I just mean it's good. I mean, it's one of those movies where it's kind of surprising how seamlessly Jay and Silent Bob fit into that kind of environment. It's a good movie. I think you'd like it. I know you're not much of a Kevin Smith fan, but I think you'd enjoy it, and I think you'd enjoy the commentary about Catholicism.
Yeah,
because there were people protesting that movie because they thought it was just good. It was going to be this big takedown. Like it's not. Like the movie in no way is like a takedown of Catholicism or any way of like a criticism at all. Yeah. Smith himself grew up Catholic, and he remains maybe not as religious as he used to be, but he still believes in God. People he's like somebody. I remember one of his Q&As, like, "You believe in God?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "Why?" He's like, "Because I have a career."
That's funny.
Now we shift to this school out way in the friggin' desert somewhere, Arizona or New Mexico or somewhere. See, quite a few Native Americans. It's part of the population here. There's Virginia Madsen.
Oh, brunette.
Yeah, she really runs the gamut. We've seen her as a redhead, a blonde, brunette in movies. Yeah.
What was she a redhead in?
She was a redhead in Candyman.
Oh, did you call that? Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least a strawberry blonde.
Strawberry blonde, yeah.
I guess maybe not full on redhead, but that was definitely the reddest I think I've seen was Candyman.
I think she was a blonde in Zombie High.
Didn't see that, but I've definitely seen one or two movies where she's a blonde. All right, so this is weird. So you got this dead, retired Army colonel or something like that, and the thing is like Christopher Walken's character, who I think is Gabriel, wants to like use his soul because this guy was actually a really evil man, and he wants like a pure evil soul. Because the other thing they say is like that makes humans different from angels is humans have souls and angels do not. See, he's taking the soul out of him because he's trying to keep Christopher Walken from getting it. So he's gonna.
And why this guy in particular?
I don't know, because I mean, there's a lot of evil people in the world. You think? I mean, I guess maybe just because he's one of the more evil that just recently died. Like, I think it's just like a timing thing, right? Like the soul doesn't stay there for very long. It has to do with timing. He needs to find somebody who was really particularly evil that died very recently, I guess. You know, I mean, logistically, I'm sure you can pick the movie apart. But it stays on this guy's soul that it becomes important. That it's this guy in particular. Obviously, the people of this community don't know that, but apparently he did like horrible, horrible war crimes in Korea, and he loved it. So yeah, they're a fairly small community. So like, she teaches a class, but it's like not even like one grade. It's like several grades combined. And there's like our important girl who's going to wind up in possession of the soul by accident.
Navajo? That be who would be out there?
I mean, it's possible, but there's so many. You know, there's way more than you would think. So it could be something completely different. Like, I don't know. There's a lot more tribes than.
Yeah.
But I mean, Navajo is that area. But
yeah, I'm trying to think of more in that area.
They might say, because they actually do show some stuff. Because there's a part where she's back like with like her tribe, and she comes really sick because she has the soul in her, and they're trying to like fix her, and they're using their own medicine. So they might actually say. That's the other thing about the movie, because the movie suggests that like everything about Catholicism is real. Like there is a God, there is a heaven, there is a hell, there are angels and demons and all. Like it's all real. But they also kind of point out that like whatever that Native American religion was is also valid because it's also tied up in it all. So it's kind of neat from that perspective.
Yeah, I've always thought that was interesting because, like, the argument is if you don't, pray to Jesus, you're going to hell, right?
Yeah, there's
like,
certain.
What about all these people
that
don't have the opportunity to do that? You live in Africa or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's why missionaries existed, right, and still exist, and that's why, like, sometimes you'll see a thing. Actually, that even shows up. Remember in the show The Boys? Remember when they go to that weird Christian fest thing?
Yeah.
And she has to like do a symposium and talk to the young kids. Yeah. One of them says, like, I have a friend who's Hindu. Like, is it my responsibility to make her accept like Jesus Christ into her heart? Because I like my friend and I don't want her to go to hell. That's like what some people actually think.
Yeah.
No, here's the autopsy stuff. I think he's missing a tongue too. I think he also doesn't have a tongue. Let's see. The eyes. Your man has none.
That's Banya from Seinfeld.
Even I recognize that. Yeah, he's the really annoying comedian.
Yeah, I was trying to realize where I've seen him from.
I wouldn't have known if you hadn't said it, but yeah, I see it. The Ovaltine bit the area it killed. I remember.
Why don't they call it round team?
Ovaltine, of course, makes me think of Christmas Story. Be sure to drink your Ovaltine.
Have you ever had Ovaltine?
Yeah.
I never have. It's just like basically it tastes like chocolate milk, right? Or like Nestle's Quick or something.
Well, it tastes like the weakest version you can imagine of that. Like very, very weak. Like barely chocolate. Like calling it chocolate is almost a stretch. It's like the very hint of like there might be some chocolate in there. Yeah. So it's like if you took like one spoonful of Nestle Quick and put it in like a big thing of milk and stirred it up. That might be Ovaltine.
Their whole gimmick is like vitamins, right? Vitamins and minerals and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, now they're seeing the markings on his body and stuff.
Okay.
And his weird, crazy ancient book. I don't know. I think Simon might have had time to go down and take that book from him so the humans don't find it. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I like that line. It's like, there's no 23rd chapter of this book. And he's like, well, maybe this is the teacher's edition. Your time.
I was talking to someone recently, and I was asking them if they thought that Eric Stoltz might have a more lucrative career if he hadn't been kicked off of Back to the Future.
I figure he would have, because I mean, you really need Michael J. Fox for those movies, but I don't think they would have like bombed if it had Eric Stoltz, right?
I think Eric Stoltz could have done it. I think he just brings a different energy.
Yeah.
It's hard to imagine it not being Michael J. Fox, but I mean, people were like, well, he was in Killing Zoe. I'm like, yeah, who the fuck saw that? I mean, I did.
I know. I've seen almost nothing he's in.
I mean, he was in one little place in Pulp Fiction. He was the heroin dealer or whatever.
Yeah. Like the main thing I know him for is being recast in that. And I mean, it wasn't even like it was a difficult position for him in the first place, because for years I just thought that they cast him and they were like, oh, it's not working out, get Michael J. Fox. They never wanted him in the first place. They always wanted Michael J. Fox. From day one, that's who they wanted. And at the time, Michael J. Fox was too busy with Family Ties. And they're like, look, if you can figure out a way to get around that, this guy's killing the movie. Like, they were really upfront about it.
He was like, yeah, can you just get me some cocaine? Because
that'll
have to work like 17 hours a day,
Yeah.
That's what he would do. He would leave the like Family Ties set and then go work on Back to the Future, film, all day at both.
Yeah. I mean, when you really want to do something, finally, there's the man. There's Mr. Walken.
Yeah.
I just love every scene he's in. I just love it all. I mean, Christopher Walken is well known for being a scene stealer in movies, but this might have been around the start of it. I don't know. Just everything he does, his lines, his mannerisms.
Ugh.
See, sometimes it's kind of distracting because he has those mannerisms, the way he talks for roles, but like this, I think it all works.
My favorite performance of his may be The King of New York.
That's a good one. I like that one a lot. That's the one I haven't seen in a long time either. Is that the one where Robert De Niro's like a bus driver?
I don't think so.
I thought it was like about the kid. Isn't that the one where the kid has a dad who's like a bus driver? And he's an honest guy in a neighborhood full of crooks, but he really likes Christopher Walken because he is a crook or something? Or am I mixing that up?
I don't think so. That's basically the one where he gets out of prison and he starts running drugs again.
Okay.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, I'm mixing that up then, because I don't remember Lawrence Fishburne at all.
That's his his right-hand man.
Hmm.
This was, I think, back when he was still Larry Fishburne. The Pee-wee's Playhouse days.
Never saw that. But I did see some Larry Fishburne stuff, like he's in Dream Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
He's like one of the orderlies or something. And of course, you can see him be really completely unrecognizable. He's so young and skinny in Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was in that.
Yeah, the black guy that's on their boat, that's him. But you have no idea because he's like 18, 19, and he's skinny, and his voice is completely different. You'd have no idea. You'd be like, well, it is a black guy. It's like, it's Lawrence Fishburne.
That's a who's who for people in that movie.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Harrison Ford's in that movie for like the first 10 minutes, and then he's not in the rest, but it's still kind of a big deal that he's in it. It's funny, like, Harrison Ford's like name had such clout, at least years later on, that like I remember picking up some version of the movie, not the one that I own, but like on the back where it like talks about what it is, it literally starts with Harrison Ford. It says like that a soldier, Martin Sheen. It says is sent on a mission by blah 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 Harrison Ford, as if Harrison Ford's like really important in the movie. It's like I don't even think Harrison Ford's the one that necessarily sends him on the mission. He's just in the room and explains some of it. Like Harrison Ford's like as I remember, there's bigger, higher up guys than Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford's just in there to like sort of the liaison. He explains the mission a little bit to him, but I don't think he's the guy that literally sends him on. Oh, there's Adam Goldberg. This is a great scene too. It's so confusing too because we don't know he's dead. It's listening to this weird, slowed down music. Yeah. So the idea here is that at least some angels, maybe all angels, have the ability to raise the dead into like an undead person, and then he can just like use them for things. Because basically he needs Jerry to do stuff for him that he can't do. So Jerry is some depressed guy that killed himself.
That's what I was going to say, that he killed himself.
Yeah. And he noticeably like deteriorates as the movie goes on because he's just like dead flesh.
I always thought it was funny when grown men put posters like that on their walls. It's like, we get it. You're trying to be heterosexual.
Yeah.
It's like, I like butts and boobs.
Okay, we're close in age. How many times were you like in dorm rooms or apartments where you, whether it was girls or guys, where you saw that poster Kiss with the black and white one with the two girls kissing? Because man, I've seen that like so many times.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, it's just called Kiss. It's black and white. Like every like third dorm room I was in had that, whether it was guys or girls. Guys because they thought it was hot, and girls to show that they're cool because
they're edgy.
They're edgy, you know?
That's funny.
Like I saw that everywhere in the early 2000s when I was on and around campus.
Is this it?
No. One of them's like, it's black and white. It's two girls. One of them's like lying down. I think one of them's lying down. I think they're on a bed. It's like a weird angle. Like one might be lying down and the other one's like hovering over her or something. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I'd know it when I'd see it because I saw it so many goddamn times. I don't know who the photograph is by, though. That would help. It's just called Kiss, but
I'm getting a lot of the band Kiss.
I was gonna say it's hard to do Kiss poster and not get like those guys. I'm sure I can find it. Let's see what I can do here.
I promise you guys I'm not gay. Can you see my posters?
Yeah.
I just feel like someone's trying a little too hard when they do stuff like that.
Yeah, I was even in a place where like a guy had some of those posters, but he had like a big, like almost like length one on his ceiling over his bed so that he could like stare up at it from his bed.
Wow.
I'm like, I don't know. I guess if you like to masturbate on your back, it's good.
There's two girls in their panties. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that it?
That's it. Man, that was like everywhere. Like every time I visited somebody's apartment or dorm, they had that poster.
I don't think I've ever seen it before, but I don't hate it.
It's artistic. I like that art. But yeah, that's the one. I've had opportunities to buy it myself. And I thought, maybe, I don't know. I remember about 10 years ago, I visited one of my friends from those days, and it was like, this is like the last time I saw him, and now he was living off campus. And actually now he was one of those really academic people who like, he had graduated and now he worked as like a TA at the school. So he was always still in there. And I remember he didn't have that on the wall, but he had like, I think he was living with a girlfriend at the time, cute little blonde thing. And, you know, he was one of the more, as I said, academic and hippie-esque people that I knew, and like he was one of those people that like took FIP with me and just fell in love with all the philosophy, just like that was his life. Like, but I remember he had like a weird, like up framed on his wall of his apartment, he had like a poem that he wrote to his girlfriend, but it's like an erotic poem with like, you know, adult language in it. It's really weird.
And that is weird.
That's like right up on the wall. I'm like, do your parents ever visit?
That's odd. I know when I was in college, I was like, let me get that Van Gogh Starry Night because nobody else has done that. I didn't realize it was.
That's what's in my bedroom, and in like all of our movie discussion pocket dimension things. It's right there, people. Indiana Jones and that bought from the same poster sale in like the spring of like 2001 or something.
Yeah, that's what I did. I got a frame for it. I just really like the art, and I didn't realize
I guess it's cliche, but it is my favorite painting.
Yeah.
My favorite like painting type art is Impressionism. And of all the Impressionism paintings, my favorite is probably the most famous, Van Gogh's Starry Night. But I like a lot of others too. Like I like Monet, I like Renoir, I like Manet. There's a Monet and a Manet, which is a little confusing. I just love that Impressionism style.
Yeah, I love that stuff. Yeah, I took an art history course, and I, of course, came across it. I was like, man, I really like Van Gogh's style. I like that Starry Night. I'm going to get that. And later on, I'm like, okay, everybody knows this. Yeah. But I mean, nothing wrong with that. Just it's I thought I was I'm going to show people how cultured I am. I like art.
Mm-hmm. It's hard now being in my late 30s and having a lot of the posters up from my early 20s, and it's like if you're gonna have like posters like approaching middle age, then it has to be like really fancy, like under glass and stuff. Like none of my posters are worth that treatment.
Yeah.
Because Ryan over the years has gotten some good horror movie things, and he's done them right and gotten them under glass, which is really cool. But I'm not gonna do that in this stupid place. Right. So they're a little upset that there is a weird homeless vagrant hanging out in their school that the children keep coming into contact with. So I don't remember why he's dying, or is it because the soul is just ripping him apart or something? I think like angels aren't meant to hold souls, and the one that he's holding is like super black and evil and stuff. So it's like killing him. So this is as far as he could get. Now he's just there. So Mary is the name of the little girl. That's, I'm sure, symbolic.
Right.
He's going to, out of desperation, not because he wants to, but because he has no other options, pass the soul on to her. And that's where we get sort of the crux of the movie is like, she's got this in her, and Mary have very little time left. It's like, this is like a nightmare scenario for anything, because I think he actually has to like kiss her on the mouth to pass it over, right? So like, what the hell? Now the homeless vagrant is trying to make out with like 11-year-olds. This is what we get for trying some kindness. Can you keep a secret, he says? Like, red flag, red flag.
Yeah, exactly.
The biggest secret ever, he says. Come here. Like, this is oh my God. And she goes against everything she was taught.
Danger.
And you could say, well, luckily he isn't like some awful creep. In fact, he's a very good guy and he's an angel. But what he's doing is allegedly worse because he's going to put her in horrible danger by doing this, right? Yeah. Not allegedly, supposedly, arguably. Close your eyes. This all seems. I guess I'm sure her mother had to be on set for this.
Oh, he actually did it. Oh, come on. We get a double in for
her. I'm sure she wasn't traumatized. It was probably closed-lipped. It was probably like a type thing.
I just got kissed by Eric Stoltz. Have you seen Killing Zoe? God, he's awesome. She looks weird. She looks like she might be a dwarf or something. Like, She's got her pants pulled up really high. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, it's just her weird sort of trailer park wardrobe.
Maybe she's like 18. Just like has that disease. The guy from Children of the Corn.
I guess it's possible. That guy's awesome, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I like him a lot.
So, speaking of early 2000s, that show iCarly, remember that?
Yeah.
With Miranda Cosgrove. She had like an enemy on that show that had like a show that was like a rival show, and he was the exact same like kid as that kid, except he was like a real kid. Like you can follow, I can't remember what his name was, but it was like iCarly's main enemy, and it like the actor, the kid, he looked and sounded just like him.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
I don't think it's. I just think that's the way the character. I just think that's the way the actor is, and they just thought he's funny because he's like really high strung and he's always like yelling at Carly and stuff and talking about how he's going to destroy her.
Outlander.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you watch scenes with him and you expect him to scream that, like, "You will pay for this, Outlander." And I remember too, there was a big outcry. People saying like, "Let's remake it with this kid. We'll strike while the iron's." Like now he'd be like probably like fucking approaching 30, but you know.
He and Courtney Gaines like really stole that movie.
Yeah,
like Sarah Connor's in there, like sleepwalking through that movie.
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton's twin sister just died.
That's right. She did have a twin. I forgot about that. I didn't know she died though.
She died like today, I think.
Wow.
That's rough.
She did a lot of her stunt work, I think. Her sister did.
Speaking of which, I watched Dark Fate. It's not good, really, but it's, I don't know. I thought it was, maybe the bar was set so low. Like, I hate Genesis with all my heart. I thought Dark Fate was a massive improvement on Genesis, for whatever that's worth.
How would it have been if Arnold or Linda Hamilton weren't in it, though? I mean, it probably would have been awesome. Because I was totally fine with the new girl, Grace.
Yeah. I didn't mind how they tied things in, and I thought it was kind of amusing, this idea that the Terminator tried to settle into having a normal life, which would be fucking impossible. Think about it. He's like, look at the way he looks and sounds. In 1984, he went into a police station and murdered everybody on camera, and he can just live a few states over and nobody knows?
There are no plot holes in that series.
Zero. It's the tightest series you'll ever watch. Yeah, and there's the other thing, of course. I'm sure it's in other things too, but like the angel referring to humans as like monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Which seems to suggest that, yes, in this version, even though like all the Bible stuff is true, it also says that we are related to primates in this version of the Bible. So this seems to suggest that, yes, Adam and Eve was all true, but it came after years of evolution from primates. Because why else would he call us monkeys? He's saying, you're evolved from monkeys. So to me, you're just monkeys.
We were until the aliens came down and gave us some extra technology.
Yeah. Oh, there's the start of it. Look at that. Love that. And he does this a lot throughout the movie, just perching.
Think he's actually doing that, or is he like held up by a wire or something?
Yeah, I don't think he's actually doing that. I think there's something like propped up behind him or something.
It wouldn't be possible, right?
I think it's possible. I just don't think Christopher Walken could have pulled it off. Like, I could do that.
It's almost like he's perched and leaning forward.
Yeah, that's the thing that, I guess, you're right. That's the impossible part, the leaning forward part. I don't know if he really is or if it's the camera angle, but I guess they're just trying to make it look as weird and unnatural as possible, right? So
they achieved that. Rancho. Okay, no.
But there is no soul, unfortunately. See,
Vamos.
Coming for the soul. Talking monkey. See, he calls him a talking monkey.
Oh, monkeys. Okay.
Yeah.
No Spanish difference there.
I can't even remember what this means. Like, what he can do with the evil soul. All I can remember is like it's really important that he gets this evil soul, and that's how he can carry out his plan. I don't remember what the plan is, although it has to do with like winning this war on heaven, etc.
So Lucifer's coming back, is that right?
Lucifer shows up in the movie, but he actually doesn't play a big role. Lucifer's almost neutral in this conflict. The idea is kind of like that Lucifer gave up the fight and is happy to, like, you know, I guess take care of the damned in hell. But Gabriel's kind of like a rogue that still is kind of still fighting after everybody else has stopped fighting, is kind of the thing.
Is he also a fallen angel?
Yes. Or in this he is. He's not, I don't think, biblically.
I was going to say, biblically, he was one of the big good angels.
Yeah, I think this is... Oh, see, look at that. He's doing the same weird leaning here. Yeah, so that's not possible. There's something holding him up.
Oh, yeah, that is really creepy.
Yeah. To me, yeah, this is my favorite Christopher Walken performance. I just love all the dialogue, the mannerisms. It's all great. I wouldn't have even known that was Eric Stoltz. I have no idea. Gave him long hair and a beard. I don't know. That's enough to throw me off.
That's exactly how he looks in Killing Zoe.
Never seen it.
He's a heroin addict.
Isn't he in, like, Mask?
Yes. That's something he was really good in.
Yeah, except, of course, you couldn't tell it's him. That's the whole point, is he has all the stuff on.
Right.
So that's, like, something I've seen him in where he's, like, a lead, and that's, like, it.
What year was that? Do you remember?
I think it was around the same time as Back to the Future. It might have been, it was 85 or 86, I'd say. If I had to guess. Off the top of my head, it's either 85 or 86.
85.
Yeah.
Good call. Back to the Future was 84, right?
Back to the Future was also 85.
Oh, wow. So he must have gone right off the set to Mask.
Yeah.
And, you know, they just had more probably post-production with Back to the Future.
Yeah, see, I don't want to be a god. I just want to make it before when he loved us best. This still has to do with humans. He wants things to go back to like before there were humans and when the angels were favored by God. But, yeah, it says you lost your grace. So they're saying he was fallen at some point, which is more recent history than the Bible, I guess.
Right. Yeah, so Robert Avery was a co-writer on Pulp Fiction, whether or not Quentin wants to admit that or not. And then they kind of, for whatever reason, split ways after that because I think Quentin wanted all the acclaim, you know, wanted all the credit. And then Avery went and did Killing Zoe after that and brought, you know, Eric Stoltz, who was in Pulp Fiction, along.
Okay. I didn't know that. Right, so he burned Simon with some sort of, I don't know, hellfire. I don't know what you want to call it.
So he's dead now.
Yeah, where he's dying. Yeah, he's dead now, yeah. And the police will have another weird body to look at. Oh, so he's not dead. He says, I can make this last forever. So obviously there's a way to burn him without actually killing him, although he is going to wind up dead.
Ora.
Yeah. Where's the soul? He gives her. I love how he delivers this line just as he has. That soul. You'll never get that soul. I like it. Yeah, I guess now he finishes him. Is he pulling out his heart or something?
Oh.
Pulled something out. But that get it.
It sounds like there's something serious going on around you.
Oh, yeah, possibly. I'm pretty used to it.
Yeah.
I don't live. That's not. It's not an ambulance, but I mean, I live close to a hospital, so I hear.
Oh, yeah.
That's cops, though. I know this. That is cops. It'll go.
Oh, no, it's fine.
It is moving away.
It just sounded like it was escalating and escalating. Like, man, there's more and more of them.
It's like, remember that weird, creepy homeless guy you're worried about hanging around the kids? Well, he's been incinerated, so you don't have to worry about him anymore. All right, and now holding on to the soul is making Mary very sick. And they're going to try some of their Native American medicine stuff. Which eventually this movie validates. Yeah. And see, they're not saying like we don't believe in anything. She's already been to a medical doctor. So it's not like they're like, we don't believe in that.
Right.
They said they say she was at the doctor couldn't find anything wrong with her.
They've got topaz, and I know the Navajo use topaz a lot.
Yeah. And now she's drawing war crimes. So now she has I guess she has his memories. Actually, she's gonna start speaking for him in some places. It's really weird and disturbing. Huh. At one point, she talks about like murdering a bunch of Chinamen or something. Oh yeah, Thomas. It's been a long time since we've seen you. Out into the desert. And he shall be a warrior. See, they're making it sound like there's some sort of prophecy for this about a dark soul residing in a person that's a warrior. So it's like, this is the soul we've been waiting for. Somebody dug him up. Well, I don't know about that. This guy was like a military hero known in the community. I don't know if the wino, who's going to pay for that?
You know, that should be another horror trope to add to our list because, like, disgruntled gravedigger.
Yeah.
Or like disgruntled funeral or cemetery.
Yeah. Caretaker guy.
Caretaker, yeah. That's a good term for it.
Yeah. Because that's all he's really matter of fact about. It's like, oh, somebody dug him up. He's like, now that wino burned up, I'll probably be burying him too. You know, because people getting dug up is a big part of horror movies, right? And they always have to come up and let the main characters know that somebody was dug up, and now they're annoyed by it. Now I have to dig him. Now I have to bury him again.
Yeah, that's their whole life. I have to bury him again now.
At least that doesn't happen as much nowadays. Like, if you go back to like the ancient world, people were dug up and buried and dug up and buried all the time, especially if they were like famous, because people wanted their body. Like Alexander the Great was in the ground for about 5 seconds before Ptolemy, or however you pronounce that, Ptolemy, took off with him. And then, you know, he basically went on a world tour with the body. Then he was buried somewhere, and then monks took it over. And to this day, people don't know where he's buried anymore. Although some people think that his body is mixed in with a bunch of Christian saints, which would be pretty hilarious.
Yes, that would be funny.
And they weren't really good at preserving bodies. Like Alexander's body was preserved in honey. Honey does not preserve bodies. But they thought, hey, it's worth a shot. It's like honey doesn't really go bad, so put a body in it. And then you just get a body going bad covered in honey.
Yeah. What did work then? I mean, not a whole lot, right?
Well, I guess like the full-on mummification type stuff.
Right.
Worked to a certain extent. There, now we've got our two mains meeting. Any dark secrets? Oh yeah, lots, but oh, you're wrong about that. She says there's no secrets, but they don't know that the colonel was like some ghastly, evil war criminal.
Yeah, who apparently had some Vlad the Impaler type techniques he used.
Yeah. Here we go again. Christopher Walken perching, watching the children play. Look at him. Oh, that's awesome. Just up on the roof. Yeah, it's gonna take him about 2 seconds to like find like evidence of this guy's true nature.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't have any family or anything, so nobody's been through his stuff.
Mm.
It's like, oh, big wooden box under the bed. This is promising.
Yeah. Just pictures of war crimes.
Pretty much. Journal, too, I think. Ocean Reservoir. Yeah. So, I mean, some of the stuff's just ordinary newspaper clippings, but it goes a little deeper. See, it says that he was accused of human sacrifices. So this even seems to suggest that more people knew about it. It's like, I guess everybody forgot in the aftermath. Oh, look, they've got film of some of this. Yeah, so he's going to see film of, like mass graves that this guy massacred. I mean, I get it. When you have a confusion of war going on, you can get away with a lot.
We cut out the 30 minutes it took him to set that camera up.
Yeah, like everybody, like now, even in 1995, how many people like are just so good at getting that ready?
Yeah, yeah.
I like the look on his face. He does look like he's truly lost his mind. He's just staring off into space. Yeah, so apparently, yeah, it was covered up. Like, the military knew about it, but they covered it up. That's what I forgot. I forgot that, like, people actually did find out. Oh, there's some human faces he decided to take home as a souvenir.
Ha!
But I mean, some people did that. Like, Richard Ramirez, the serial killer, the Night Stalker, the guy from LA. Like, in like the late 70s, early 80s, he had a cousin that he hung out with, and his cousin had been to Vietnam, and his cousin committed war crimes and brought back ghastly stuff, and he showed it all to Richard, and it was one of the things that sort of got him into it. Like,
he was all about it.
He had like photographs of like people getting their heads cut off and all sorts of stuff, and he had like people's ears. Like, he had some really sick shit with him.
Wow. Like trophies, I guess?
Yeah.
Wow. It's like, was it Platoon where the guy has all the ears? Kevin Dillon, I think, has all the ears on his necklace.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't seen Platoon in so long. And they do a similar thing with the Vietnam stuff in actually Universal Soldier of all things. Dolph Lundgren does the same thing. He gets a bunch of people's ears when he like snaps in Vietnam.
I need to watch that first one again.
That's still my favorite Van Damme movie. Still my favorite, one of my favorite action movies of the 90s. I love that movie.
Believe it or not, some of the sequels are not as bad as you'd think, too.
I like all the sequels, including the unofficial ones that were made for TV. One was called Brothers in Arms, where he's played by a different guy. Like, I even liked those. Okay, they're not considered canon now because they finally did make sequels. The really bad one is the first like official sequel, which was the one that came out in '99. It was like one of the last things he had that went to theater. What's it called? Universal Soldier. Anyway, I don't know, but
2.
Yeah, exactly. That one. That one's awful. That had like Goldberg in it, the wrestler, because he was big at the time. The bad guy was played by actually a good artist, a good action guy. Fuck. Oh man, it'll come to me. Guy that played Spawn.
Oh, Michael J. White?
Yeah, Michael J. White. He's the main bad guy in it, but it all sounds like it should be good, but it's god awful. It's really, really bad.
I've seen it. I probably saw it in the theater.
I saw it in the theater, and even then, I knew it was awful. I was so disappointed.
Goldberg should have been the indicator.
Goldberg played a character named Romeo, which just seems odd. Oh, this is a weird moment. Look, it's not really happening. It's like he imagines it. Or he's dreaming it, I guess. Oh, that's creepy as hell. Or she's dreaming it. Okay, yeah. She starts to have weird fever dreams. And yeah, she starts to get like his memories and stuff. Really starts to mess her up. Yeah, Michael J. White is the bad guy in that.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's in a lot of good movies. And like I can't remember anything's name anymore. Is it Undisputed? Is that him? Undisputed?
Boxing movie? Boxing?
That's like kickboxing, I think.
It's like a prison movie, right?
One of them is.
Okay, maybe I'm getting confused.
There's 3 or 4 of them, and one of them is. I think they're undisputed. It's like Undisputed 1, 2, 3. And in one of them, he like gets back into MMA, and like it's funny because like Josh Barnett's in it. It's like his friend. Okay. Who is an MMA star, but the thing is like he's kind of washed up, but now he's using steroids.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like he gets him off steroids and he comes back better than ever. And of course, like around the exact same time in real life, Josh Burnett like popped for steroids and got like what, like a 4-year ban or something really big. So it's like, what a fucking hypocrite. You're like making a movie where you're playing this guy that's like, no, I will get rid of steroids and, you know, overcome the old fashioned way. And then like in real life, in like his actual career, he's using steroids. They're like, what the hell's going on in this town? Now we got another weird, creepy guy hanging out with all the kids.
We need to teach our kids about pedophiles.
Stranger danger. Come on, people.
Let me go grab my charger real quick.
It is a long story. Don't mind the Best Buy employee over there just dripping apart. Well, I guess not Best Buy, but he's got a red vest. He looks so Best Buy is blue, but that vest makes him look like he's works at some store. It's been a weird couple days, hasn't it? This isn't even an ST. This is Arizona tea poured into an ST thing. There's an aluminum shortage going on that I wasn't aware of, and that's why for like over a month I can't get like a case with like cans of Nestea anywhere. It's driving me nuts. Today was the day I found out about that. They had a sign up at the grocery store saying that there's due to an aluminum shortage, like companies like Pepsi and stuff, you know, they make all the smaller brands and stuff, like they're prioritizing their main brands, so offshoot stuff and spin-off stuff is not prioritized, and I guess that's why I can't get any cans of frickin' Nestea. Thought I'd share that. Something he gave you? Oh God, where's this going? I'm a good friend of Simon's too. I found his charred corpse. Like, this is worse than an STD, and I didn't think that was possible. Oh, there we go. Ever cut out a Chinaman's head? They don't bleed like we do. Creepy as hell. Pretty good delivery for a kid. But we were quick. Or better, colder. Then she comes out of it. Be really something to be a little girl. When you close your eyes, you see visions of like Chinese soldiers being butchered. They talk about the enemy ghost. See, they're technically right. I mean, you can say, oh, those Native Americans and their hoopla. No, they're right. There is an enemy ghost. She just spoke in the Colonel's not in voice, but she spoke all creepy about like cutting off Chinamen's heads. It's like that what you teach in your kids' class? You hated children. They weren't big enough for souvenirs. He'd send an angel. A lot of people don't seem to notice that because everybody seems to think of angels as so great. It's like, don't you guys remember angels being sent to Earth to like bring death and destruction? Because that happened quite a bit in the Bible. I mean, every once in a while, an angel did something comforting or nice. Like the angel that told Mary she was going to give birth to Jesus. Yes, that was a nice moment for an angel, but there were a lot of bad moments too. Like going around during Passover and murdering all the firstborn sons of Egypt. That was an angel. Supposedly that was Gabriel, I guess. An interesting morality. Well, the Pharaoh's really being mean to the Jews, so we thought we would kill the firstborn son of all the citizens.
Yeah, Old Testament stuff. There was plenty of those examples.
Yeah, and a lot of it came from angels, as he said. You know, when God needed to get shit done, he'd send an angel. I mean, sometimes he'd just do like a natural disaster thing, but if you want a more personal touch, he'd do an angel. Ethereal driving music playing. I think ethereal music would have worked. Ethereal driving music. I hope that's like the tape that's like in his tape deck in his car. Ethereal driving music. All right, the old mine. This is a scene I did actually forget about. It's kind of weird. I won't say it's like one of those scenes that like comes out of nowhere or stops the movie dead, but it's a bit odd.
Yeah.
I can't even remember why they're going down here in the first place. Doesn't have anything to do with the Colonel. The Colonel was a soldier, not a miner.
It's almost like something was cut out or something, right?
Yeah. I might have just missed some line of dialogue. I mean, there's obviously some reason they're here. I can't remember. They're just going to find like a bunch of weird writing and symbols, and I think it's going to kind of like come to life for a second, something like that. But I can't remember why it's there or what it means.
There's going to be some Native American stuff they find.
See, I don't even know if it is. I don't know if it's supposed to be Native American stuff or it's supposed to be like ancient Christian stuff or what. Let's see. So, I mean, I guess that's like, yeah, that's more like the stuff that was in the book. So, angelic script. Yeah, okay. Which is a thing. Yeah, there's going to be some weird effect here. Can't remember. Stuff comes to life or lights up or... Okay. Is there gas in this mine? Because we're going to blow up.
Yeah.
Ah, here we go. Shadows, I guess, come to life.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like an angel getting his like wings ripped off or something, I think. Oh, okay. He's been impaled. Is that part of what happened during the War of the Angels? I don't know, but apparently quite a few of them died. The Bible's kind of fuzzy on that. It's not big on details.
It's probably in some of the other books.
Yeah, it could be. That's the other thing. Like, there's all sorts of stuff that might have been in the Bible at some point and could have been cut out and things like that.
Well, that's what they do whenever they edit it, right? They take out stuff and add stuff.
Exactly. That's why I think it's I mean, you shouldn't rely on it literally anyway. But even if you're going for the other thing, like there's so much of it got censored. Like we know that especially when Catholicism in particular rose, and popes and all that, it became very male dominated. They specifically cut out like some of the female roles in the Bible or turned them down because they wanted women to be subservient and secondary. So
like what all do you think King James took out or added?
Yeah, I'm sure there's quite a bit. And wasn't it just like a couple of years ago that the Dead Sea Scrolls have been found out to be like fake?
Oh, really? No, I hadn't heard that.
I'm pretty sure they found out the Dead Sea Scrolls are like forgeries or something.
Man, somebody did a good job with that.
Yeah.
Good forgers.
It's one of the few movies where Christopher Walken plays anybody that's physically intimidating too.
Yeah.
He just throws humans around in this. Yeah, that finally like killed him for good. Like I don't really understand the rules, but he's happy. He's like, okay, I've taken enough damage. I can die for real now.
Like a zombie. Just get shot in the head.
Yeah. I guess so, because he's like a zombie too, and he's deteriorating. There's like that part where he shows up at the school and he's like, and everything's like falling off his face. It's like, don't mind him. Yeah, I like that. Understanding your existence is never understanding why. See, I like that because that's exactly what I think an angel would say. That's the other thing that I guess makes me kind of reject some of the. I mean, it's in other religions too, but it's like it's spoken out in Christianity, which is God's plan stuff and things that we can't know or understand. I'm just not the type of person that accepts that.
Well, it's a lot of human error to add to that formula.
It's just I just have a hard time living my life with, if people are saying that there's this a being and stuff, and if there's stuff that we don't understand or we think is wrong or hurt, like, well, we're not supposed to understand. Well, ouch. That makes it seem like we don't matter at all.
Right. We are monkeys.
Yeah. But there's people that like are completely accepting of that. They're like, well, it's God's will. Like, I don't understand it, but it's God's will. And I mean, fine, I don't judge them. I'm just saying it's not in me to be that way. I can't help it.
I just feel like some people take it very literally, like every word.
Yeah.
And it's really not something you can take that way.
They're saying you have to cuff him. We're not cuffing a dead guy. I'm like, what? It's not like it costs you anything to cuff him, so they do. What about the other dead guy? Yeah, he's really dead, but he was dead before. It's complicated.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. On Earth, they're not immortal. So I guess the idea is like they're angels, they can live and forever. But once you bring them down to Earth, I guess they're subject to certain rules. Again, the movie's kind of not clear, but if they are immortal, it's true. Like that explosion did not. I mean, all it did was knock him out. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to get another monkey puppet now that Adam Goldberg's gone. I mean, in a way, he was lucky with Adam Goldberg because he got to him before anybody else did. He killed himself in his apartment, and he showed up and got him. For his replacement, he has to like go to like a morgue and find somebody already on a slab. Oh, it's too bad. I guess it's okay that we don't get to see that scene, but I mean, we get it. He broke out, killed the cop, flipped the car. I guess it's better that we don't see.
Yeah. Leave a little bit to the imagination.
I mean, we get it. He's an angel. He's powerful. But yeah, that line, I really like that. It's like steal the souls from little girls, and all you can count on your little existences, miserable existences, never understanding why. Like that. That's one of my favorite lines. And then he's got another really good one towards the end.
I like in Joe Dirt. He says, I'm going to stab you in the eye with a soldering iron.
That's a good one, too.
That's when he was being crazy for crazy's sake.
Yeah. Possibly his greatest delivery of any line is at the end of the Country Bears movie, where he goes, "This is not over, Bears. Wow. This is not over, beat Bears." I can't do it justice at all, but I'm sure you can just find that short clip on YouTube. It is so life-changing. He's like in a crowd, and the crowd's all pushing one way, and they're like sweeping. He's getting swept away by the tide of the crowd. And he has his arms out. He's like, "This is not over, Bears."
It's like a Scooby-Doo ending. I could have got away with it too. Was a few meddling kids.
It's a good place. Oh, now she's speaking in his voice again. Separate water source, stocked grain. Only one possible approach.
Does it sound like his voice?
No, she's just like being really serious. She's like, a man with the right thing could hold up. No, it doesn't. No, it's her own voice, but she just sounds really serious and scary, kind of. Especially the other one. She's like, Chinamen don't bleed like we do. It's really creepy coming out of a little girl. All right, so they're trying to dispel the enemy ghost, as they put it. And again, they're not wrong. So unsatisfying.
I just keep getting Musica coming up over and over again.
All right. That's right. He needs somebody that. It's actually not the. It's not the morgue. It's somebody like he needs to get to them like right when they die. But yeah, he can just make people sleep too by touching their heads. But yeah, he's catching up to somebody who's just about to die, so he can take her. It's a woman. Recovery, that's no good. Here we go. This is what I need. Deteriorating, critical, my favorite. We actually, at some point, we missed one of Adam Goldberg's best line in the movie. Where after they check the grave and he finds out that the soul's gone, he says, like, if you were a soul, where would you hide? And Adam Goldberg goes, the hell away from you. I like that. Come back. Back it up.
It's a woman, right?
Yep.
She looks familiar.
I don't know. She spends the rest of the movie doing this, cringing and wincing, because, I mean, she just died, and then he brought her back, and she still feels like dying. So, and she's just going to be in, like, a hospital gown through the whole thing. She's not going to last long. He needs her to drive. He can't drive a car.
Doesn't he have wings?
Too conspicuous, I guess.
They
never really, I think, address where these guys' wings are. Not wingses. They're wingsies.
Mm-hmm.
Sound like fucking Sam. Mr. Frodo, Mr. Frodo. The wings is his. So here, now we're going to have Elias Koteas. Not Elias Koteas, Chet, you know who I mean. Viggo Mortensen.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I don't know if you can hear his lines, but he's delivering it all very whispery. God is love. I don't love you. This is so great. I can lay you out and fill your mouth with your mother's feces. Or we can talk. And of course he likes to perch too. And he has like a weird demon thing sidekick with him. Again, if you can't hear that's picture a lion roaring. Because that's literally the sound he makes when he goes like, Like it's like a lion roaring or snarling. That's going to come up again towards the end.
That the woman, the new zombie is it's Amanda Plummer.
Yeah, I saw her name in the start of the credits, but it doesn't mean anything to me.
She's Honey Bunny in Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can see it.
Tim Roth.
Yeah, I remember. No, I remember the scene. I know who you mean in the restaurant.
If any of you fucking pricks move.
Yeah. In this, she just sort of whimpers and cries.
She's done tons of stuff though. I know she looked familiar. Because she's not exactly like attractive or anything.
No, but a somewhat memorable face.
Exactly. Not to be, mean about it. I'm just saying it's.
Huh. Yeah, he's just explaining the war and how it's basically a stalemate, and he doesn't really care about it anymore. I don't know. I think there's a lot of good dialogue in this movie. And he calls them talking monkeys too.
Same writer as Highlander, Highlander 2, Backdraft 2.
Well, that's interesting. So we've done already one of his movies. Yeah. We did Highlander 2 on here. We're going to do the first Highlander. Highlander 2, of course, is awful, but we saw the somewhat better version that cuts out the space stuff.
Oh, he just wrote the characters. He wrote the first film basically and got credited in the second.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But he wrote and directed this one.
So basically, all that's coming down to here is like she could make a literal deal with the devil, but she refuses because it's not a good idea to make a deal with the devil, even if it's. He's just saying, I can protect you and Mary and blah, blah, blah. Saw the devil tonight. Oh, yeah? What do you look like? You look like Viggo Mortensen. Oh, okay. Guess I could see that.
Beard? No beard?
Yeah, with the beard, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he had a beard.
I can't remember if he stops being a cop after this movie and becomes a priest or not. I mean, I don't think so. I don't know what. If you go through something like this, you definitely probably wouldn't want to become a priest. Like, oh yeah, I want to be on the front lines of this shit. Although again, there's actually no priests in the movie. I mean, except in his flashback, like he's doing all the work.
Did it ever say why he changed his mind? Because he saw too much? Is that what it was?
Yeah, he just said too much. It was like, some people they get upset, they lose their faith because they don't see enough. He's like, I actually saw too much. The idea was like he saw some visions of some of this stuff that they show in the movie later, like maybe some of the stuff about the war of heaven and hell. I don't know. Which I guess was probably some sort of premonition that he would be involved in events. I guess I don't know. It's not well explained, but I don't mind. It works well enough.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the plot is in the other one. Once again, we have some weird music. Oh, they're going to go into a... This seems like a thing that happens in movies, too. The bad guy at a diner.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, we should really get this. That's so common.
The bad guy just weirding everybody out at a diner.
And it's played for laughs.
It is here, too. Yeah, this is a comedic scene.
Yeah, let's juxtapose this to like an average, diner or whatever, anywhere USA. She said blood. She wants blood.
No, she just babbles stuff about seeing bright light and stuff. She can barely put words together. Anyway, he's asking for directions. So
she's just in constant pain.
Yeah. I mean, she died, and then he just brought her back. And she's saying no. And he says, an eternity here in that sagging skin suit, or one more day with me. Why? I can't drive. Again, a great line. I can wait until the stars burn out for you to make up your mind.
Huh.
So she decides to go. This is a good last exchange here, too. Doubt we'll meet again. That suits me. You'd be one of those people that say, we get all types in here, but I don't think you ever saw his type.
Yeah, these subtitles are off.
Now you get to meet the devil. I love this line, too. This is so good. Listen how he says it. Listen to your sweet prayers every night. So afraid I was under there. And I was. Oh, my God.
You know who he looks like is Jared Leto.
Yeah. I think that's really what Jared Leto was going for.
Yeah.
Is this look. Like, sort of slicked back hair, very neat trim beard.
Can you make me look like Lucifer from the Prophecy? That's what I'm going for is my new look.
It seems that way. In a way, it's worked because I can't even hazard a guess how old Jared Leto is. I have no idea.
Got to be older than you think. I would guess venturing on 50.
He's got to be somewhere around 50, but
he very well could be older than 50.
Because I mean, he's in Fight Club in '99.
Oh wow, yeah.
And he's probably in his early to mid 20s there.
But you know, he had his band was pretty successful.
30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, I was going to say I knew Mars was in the title. But, I mean, I think he kind of quit acting for a while and just toured with them because they were...
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Must be nice, huh?
I know.
Just like pick, like, nah, I'm not going to be a Hollywood actor today. I'm going to be
I'll be a rock star. I'll just concentrate on that for a while. I don't know. Two absolute, like, pretty much unattainable dreams for the average person.
Like, people that are talented and have the looks or have the talent or whatever, and most of them can't even achieve it.
Yeah.
And he's able to do both. It's like Michael Jordan playing baseball, Come on, man. We don't want to see you play baseball.
Yeah. The difference was he wasn't good at baseball.
Right. Well, I mean, I think he's one of those guys that's probably good at everything he does, but he's not great at baseball, Well,
right. I mean, once you have an athlete that's so elite, if they put their mind and time to another sport, they could do it, right?
It's one of these athletic phenoms, like LeBron James could probably, do a lot of shit. He'd be like the best bowler in the world or something,
Steven Stamkos is like that in the NHL. He's one of those people that's just like great at everything he does. And John Tavares, who... It's funny. Steven Stamkos was the first overall pick in 2008, Tavares of 2009. They never played together except for on Team Canada a few times, but they're friends. And John always jokes that, like, he's not good at anything except hockey. Like, that's all he can do. And Stamkos is like a great golfer, and he's great at baseball and just anything he does. Stamkos is also one of those guys who's just so perfect in other, like, even beyond athletic ways. Because he literally, like, I think I have a good memory. He remembers every goal he scored.
Oh, you told me about this guy, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I saw it a couple times. They put it up, like, they're like, okay, we're going to pick one. Okay, this is a game in February 2012. You're playing the Flyers, and you scored 2 goals in that game. Do you remember them? He thinks for a second, and then he describes exactly what happened on the goals. They put it up on the screen for us to watch. He can't see it, and he's describing exactly. It's like, oh, yeah, I think Dougie dug it out in the corner there, got it back to the point, took a shot, ricocheted off. I caught it on the half boards. I zipped it around and went off. Somebody went in. Like, that's exactly what. And this is not and this is a goal scorer. This is a guy with several hundred goals in his career. So it's not like he only scored a handful of goals, so he remembers them. Just perfect recall.
Playing that many games over that many years, I can't imagine.
Yeah. I know. How do they not blend together? My games blend together. And, I played, like 30 or 40 games a year when I was a kid until I was about 17.
I mean, remembering the goal is one thing. Remembering all the details about the goal is, like, ridiculous.
He remembers, like, how the play developed and what,
like what your teammates did and stuff.
Yeah, he remembers how the whole play happened. Yeah, okay. So he set a trap there, and she's gone. She's dead, and he went flying through the windshield, but it doesn't really matter.
Oh, she's dead.
Yeah, she's happy.
Okay,
she's happy.
No more. What did I say? Amanda Plummer was her name.
Yeah, no more Honey Bunny. Actually, Graber has a lot of the same motivations in this as he does in Dogma, except the only thing that's missing is there's a good part in Dogma, like just where they're talking about something like God, and it's like, well, what about God? And he's just like, he doesn't talk to me anymore, or something like that, which I think was a good line. I almost thought it was in this too, but it's not. But he's right; it is just jealous. It's that he resents humans and how God started to favor them over the angels because they have a soul. Well, it does seem unfair when you think of it from that perspective. You kind of understand the angels. Oh, this is he doesn't. Yeah, why don't you ask him? Why don't you just ask God? I think it's in both movies. He says he doesn't talk to him anymore. Yeah. Of course, in Dogma, God is Alanis Morissette.
Yeah. He doesn't talk to me anymore.
Yeah, see, he didn't do any of that. He just delivered it normal. So it shows that he doesn't have to do that.
Just he finds pauses in like the middle of sentences for no reason.
Right.
Like, there's not a comma there, Chris.
I know. I just imagine, I love the idea that he writes a journal and it's just loaded with commas.
Every other word is a comma.
Yeah. It's like, really? You shot me?
Headshot at least, lady. Come on.
I already got shot a couple times today. You love Gabriel cracking your skull. Another great line. I love it. What do you love, Gabriel? Cracking your skull. Oh, she's not completely dead. Sorry, I was wrong. So that's what's keeping Thomas busy for the moment. Oh, I have no idea why she would attack him. Maybe she thinks she can help speed up this process and finally go away.
I think somehow I've jumped a little bit in front of you.
Oh, if you saw the thing come through the wall,
okay,
I'm there with you. Let's get the winch or something.
Yeah.
Now he looks like the way he did in Batman Returns. His hair going all crazy. Uh-oh, here's Satan. There, he's just using demonic speech. See, they say finish it. And it seems to actually work. So really, they only wind up getting saved by Satan. Because he's just not, happy with what Gabriel's doing. Yeah, so when he bites his face off here, spoilers, it's gonna sound the sound is like a lion roaring. Angels are very intimate in their violence. They're always kissing and biting.
Yeah, like vampires.
I'm going to look it up and see exactly what was supposed to happen. What getting the soul would have done for him. Because that's the crux of the movie, and I completely missed it.
He was in Witness in '85. I didn't realize he was in that.
Who was?
Viggo Mortensen.
Oh wow, he would have been pretty young then. Yeah.
And then
Witness is a movie I know pretty well, but I don't remember him that at all. Danny Glover's a bad guy in that.
Really?
That's the main thing you remember is that Danny Glover's not a good guy. He's a bad guy.
Prison is the first thing I remember him from. And that was '87.
Viggo Mortensen? This is probably the earliest thing I know him from.
He was in Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
I've seen that, but I don't remember it.
He was in The Reflecting Skin,
Don't know it.
The Indian Runner,
Don't know it.
Boiling Point with Wesley Snipes,
Okay, I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it.
Carlito's Way.
Okay, I've seen Carlito's Way. I also have the novelization at my parents' house for some reason. It's actually one of those books I can remember like randomly like picking up out of like the bookshelf and like just opening to a page and reading a really R-rated passage. So remember there's a part where like I don't even know who the character is. There's a guy and he's in bed having sex with a woman, and then like gangsters bust in and like threaten him and say like, if you don't do the blah blah blah, we're gonna blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then they storm out, and then like the last it's funny how things stay with you. I must have been like 10 when I read this. The last line of the paragraph and possibly chapter is like she's like looking at him and it's like, his penis had gone limp.
Is this this is a novelization of the film, right?
No, I think it was a novel first.
Okay. That makes more sense. That'd probably be a little better too.
Oh, and his delivery there is crazy good. Because he goes, it'll be worse than anything you could possibly imagine. Like his voice gets all raspy and high, and what do you have, Angel? I like how he says he has his faith. I mean, I guess you do, but you definitely know there's a God, so you do have that faith. But you also have the faith knowing that he's just going to let everything play out however he wants, and he's not going to help you. But of course, the other flip side of that as well, God was guiding them. God works in mysterious ways is one of my most hated phrases of all time. I hate that phrase more than anything. It's such a cop-out. Oh, it turns into birds. It just goes all back again to that whole you can't understand his will thing, which I understand the premise of that. I just don't agree. Right, so I mean, really, what did they accomplish? I mean, it really came down to like Satan saving them.
They didn't accomplish anything at all whatsoever.
I mean, I guess all they accomplished was holding out long enough so that Satan could save them. I mean, they did. I mean, they saved the girl. That's what they accomplished. They saved the girl because the soul would have, like, I don't know, driven her crazy or killed her or whatever. And they stopped whatever the fuck the plan was, which is what I was looking up. Okay, what the fuck? Why was the plan? Oh, and yeah, that was the other thing that they think. Remember how I said, like, when they were looking at the body and they said they didn't have certain things? I guess I talked through a part, right? Because yeah, the joke in Dogma was that they don't have any genitalia. They're just smooth down there. In this, it's the reverse. They're hermaphrodites.
Oh, they have both?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's actually pointed out in the scene. I must have not noticed.
They gotta show us what that looks like.
I don't think they did. They just pull the sheet back and make mention of it. Now we get a song by Skid Row for some fucking reason.
Oh, yeah, they were really popular in 95.
Sebastian Bach. What an asshole.
No, they were dead in 95. Like, grunge was owning the scene, and that kind of music
Yeah. Anyway, I really have a soft spot for that movie for its flaws, and I don't know. It is my favorite thing. Christopher Walken is not my favorite thing he's ever been in, but it's my favorite performance by him. I really like it. I really like Gabriel.
Yeah.
It's too bad the sequels were such crap, but that's what you expect. I'd be fine with them trying to remake it. They remake everything else. I mean, it'd be interesting to see who could play that role nowadays. I mean, they'd have to do it completely differently too. To me, I mean, I know most people aren't going to think it's iconic, but it's iconic to me. It really is. I really like his Gabriel, his perching, his weird raspy delivery. I mean, the lines are great too, which I know he didn't write, but they're good. But I mean, the lines also get. I mean, his delivery is what really makes them special.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be back in just a couple seconds.
Okay.
Hold it out.
Just making me want to go watch some more Viggo Mortensen movies. Like Daylight. You guys seen Daylight with Stallone? That was one of his bombs, I think, but I don't remember it being too terrible. The Road. That one was okay. I've heard that book is really good. Appaloosa, that was good. Of course, Eastern Promises, History of Violence, all the Lord of the Rings films. He was in the Psycho remake. I didn't even remember he was in that. He was in A Perfect Murder. He was in G.I. Jane. He was in the Vanishing Point remake, which is such an odd remake with a title role. Jimmy Kowalski. Yeah, he was in the Vanishing Point remake.
I didn't know there was a remake of that.
Yeah, the starring role. I want to say I've seen it only because he was in it. You know, people are clamoring for a Vanishing Point remake.
Yeah, of course.
I guess Quentin Tarantino was the only person clamoring for that.
I have actually seen the original. It's an interesting movie, but not something I've...
Yeah. It's, I mean, for a one watch, it's good.
Yeah.
Not something you're going to go revisit.
Yeah, all it says here is like that 37th chapter. So that would be an extra chapter of the Book of Revelation, describing a second war in heaven and a prophecy that a dark soul will be found on earth is used as a weapon. That's pretty vague. Used as a weapon. Okay, like so they really don't explain his plan too well.
A weapon against humanity?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
So this is an extra book that's not in our Bible.
Yeah, that's it. Remember, they make that joke. He's just like, 37 chapters. The book doesn't have 37 chapters. He's like, well, maybe this is the teacher's edition.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Eric Stoltz. Wouldn't even remember that. I don't know. It's an okay movie. It's a movie that goes down easy. You don't have to think too much about it. Unless, I don't know, you decide you have like a discussion or thought about like God and religion afterwards.
I bet, well, no, I actually bet not a lot of people did.
Yeah. Oh, there was a third. Wow. Okay, so I've only seen, it had 4 direct-to-video sequels. 4. I've only was aware of 2. The Prophecy 2 in 98, which actually had Walken in it. Then in 2000, The Ascent, which did not have him, and I don't think I saw all of. Or is he? No, he's in that too? Wow, he's in the... And then there's Uprising. And, okay, so he's in Ascent as well. I don't even remember that. But then there's 2005 Uprising, and in the same year, one called Forsaken. How did they get 2 in the same year? Those are both 2005.
They really
Tony Todd and Jason Scott Lee are in The Prophecy Forsaken. I can't even wrap my head around that.
So Christopher Walken was in part 2, right?
He was in the part 2 and part 3 apparently.
With Brittany Murphy was in part 2.
Yeah, I knew that.
I didn't. Prophecy 3, The Ascent.
Jennifer Beals is in there too. So I've definitely seen all of the second one, and I might have seen like 10 or 20 minutes of The Ascent, and then I didn't even know Uprising and Forsaken existed. But, I mean, there's such a drop-off. The Prophecy 2 is already so bad. Like, it's really bad.
Oh, it's directed by, part 3 is directed by Patrick Lussier. He's the guy famous for Drive Angry, My Bloody Valentine 3D.
Huh.
Dracula 2000.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. You see some of the imagery in this movie, and it reminds you of, like, Dracula 2000. Like, all that stuff of, like, people being dead on, like, spikes and stuff. There's some of that in Dracula 2000. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember. Plus, Dracula 2000 really adds the whole religious idea to it, because the whole idea in that, the reveal is, like, Dracula was Judas Iscariot, which is, like, the explanation for why he's so repulsed by, like, the cross.
Really? Is that a wide theory?
No, that's like the only movie, a piece of fiction I'm aware of that does that. That's why I think it's kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
Like, instead of being like just tracing it back to Vlad Tepes Dracula or Vlad the Impaler, like that some have done it like earlier than that. Even fucking Blade 3 does it earlier than that. But yeah, this idea that like the original vampire, the first ever vampire, was Judas Iscariot. And it was like because he was cursed, right, for his betrayal type thing. And it does line up a little bit, like you said, that idea of him being repulsed by the sign of the cross or whatever.
So the prophecy uprising is basically no one I recognize except for Carrie Warrer, and Doug Bradley is in there.
Yeah.
I bet you that's a bad one. I don't think I've seen the last two. I think I've seen 1 through 3.
I definitely didn't see all of Ascent. I just saw a bit of it and got fed up with it. And I've seen all of Prophecy too, but I wouldn't do it again. Like, that's just the first sequel, and it's already so terrible.
Well, big drop off. I'm sure the budget was a third of what they had for the first one, or less.
Yeah, a straight to video. Lost in the whole shuffle of all those Dimension films of the time. Good old Dimension.
I miss that Dimension title screen, man.
Oh man, you know who else is in Prophecy too? Glenn Danzig.
Oh God, is he playing an angel?
He must, because he has like a biblical sounding name, Sam Mail or something.
Himself. He just plays him.
As himself.
What's up, brother? I'm here to tell you something about metal.
I always forget that he was in Sam Hain too. He was in the Misfits, Danzig, but also in the middle, he was in Sam Hain. Sam Hain's one of those bands that I want to like because I like their philosophy and stuff, but I can't actually stand their actual music.
I'm not familiar with that band.
It was like his in-between band he did in like the mid to late 80s. It's one of those bands that sounds cool to me on paper, but then listening to it, I'm just like,
Was he with the Misfits originally?
Yes.
Okay.
He's one of the founders of the Misfits. Okay.
And then the new guy, I've seen, he's just got long hair and he pulls it down in like a V, and like down in his face.
Yeah, I remember that.
I've seen him at conventions and stuff.
That's funny.
Seems kind of like I don't know.
I know Glenn Danzig is big into horror. It must have been such a thrill to be in Prophecy too.
Yeah. I guess check it off your list.
Eric Roberts is in Prophecy too.
Well, if that's a step up or a step down for him. Depending on the period of time, that may be a step up.
He actually got nominated for an Academy Award once.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good actor.
I've just never seen him in anything remotely good. Like, I remember him mostly from like The Specialist, which is one of the worst. Oh man, that movie sucks.
Let me look. I know he's done some good stuff.
He's old as hell now.
Yeah.
Ooh, he was going to be on Celebrity Rehab.
Oh.
Anyway, I cannot recommend The Prophecy, the series, at all, but I think this first movie is a good, satisfying movie, and I don't know.
Wait, the series? They did a series on this show? Like based on
No, I mean series of movies.
Oh, okay, I got you. Sorry.
They could do a series. It wouldn't be a bad idea.
It's not giving me ideas.
There's plenty of material to mine there. Anyway, yeah. I wouldn't have the strength to watch those other sequels, because even the first sequel, even Prophecy 2, which actually has Christopher Walken, is so bad. I couldn't even remember that apparently the third one also has Christopher Walken in it.
By the way, Eric Roberts has 585 acting credits. That is crazy. That's a lot for porn stars. Like,
yeah.
And he's not a porn star. I mean, that I'm aware of.
Maybe at one time.
Just saying, man, dude's putting it on the screen. I guess you gotta live, gotta eat.
I can't even remember which one I said he was in. What was he in? The third or fourth one? It doesn't matter.
I think second. You said.
Oh, just the second. Okay.
Trying to see. I'm gonna find a good movie that he's in. It'll take me a minute. Still looking. Specialist, which I don't really like the film, but
It sucks. This movie doesn't have such a bad reputation, though. At least. I don't know. It's not like something people talk about, and I don't know. I'm like always, if people are talking about it, it's because I brought it up. Because I'm like, I like The Prophecy, because it usually comes from conversations about Christopher Walken. So I always have to say it's my favorite Christopher Walken role.
yeah.
And he's done other good roles, of course. But I just think it's a good balance of like the serious Walken with sort of the comedic Walken. Because in moments he's funny, and in moments he's generally intense and creepy too. And I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, we won't stretch this out, but I don't know. I enjoyed myself.
I take it back. I don't think he's ever done a good movie.
Christopher Walken?
No.
Never.
Eric Roberts.
Oh, Eric Roberts? No, he hasn't.
No. I mean, hell, we talk about The Deer Hunter. I don't really like that movie, but I mean, I think his performance is really good.
Yeah, I think The Deer Hunter's super overrated, but
Me too.
and again, I'm on your side of this. There's no reason for it to be that long. It's just Cimino going insane. He's like, you know what this movie needs? Smack in the middle, a 45-minute Orthodox Russian wedding or whatever. Like, Jesus.
And Cimino won a lot of stuff for this, right? It got a lot of acclaim.
Oh yeah, that's what put him on the map. That's why, that's why, when we covered Days of Heaven as this great disaster. That's why he had the power that he wielded in Days of Heaven, because he got so much acclaim and so much success. Like, he was considered a rising star.
He pretty much single-handedly was the nail in the coffin for that generation of directors.
Right, the new Hollywood stuff we talked about. Yeah. Him just going mad with power and producing a really unsuccessful, cluttered movie.
It would be different.
Christopher Walken's in that movie, and I think we both agree he's kind of miscast. Like, he can't really pull off the character they want him to. Like, Christopher Walken is like some sort of tough frontier guy. No, I don't see it.
It would have been different if the film was really successful and critically acclaimed and stuff, but neither of those were true, and he just wasted a ton of the studio's money.
Yeah. And it was just a night, and it was so difficult for the people working on it because of his whims and his decisions and such. As we said, we covered the movie. Anyone who wants to watch this, and if you watch the full cut that exists now, it's at least a little bit better than what people would have seen in the 80s when it was getting all edited to hell.
I mean, it's I don't know. It's you can see. I mean, it's a beautifully shot film. I think that's one of the things Cimino is really good at.
Yeah.
But it's just the money's not there. It's he just wasted. I mean, the money's not on the screen. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
And there's all sorts of examples in real life that shows that. There was a thing about him having helicopters on standby. He was paying thousands and thousands of dollars for helicopters he didn't need, just in case he thought he might need them. Okay, the helicopters, we can let them go. Somebody else can have them because it's costing us thousands just to keep them here. It's no, I want to keep them. So that was money not going on the screen at all because it was money that just wasn't being used for anything.
Just wait, having all these people on set that we're not even doing their scene today. Paying extras for multiple days and stuff. And
taking forever to do scenes because, like you said, there was a part where he thought this. I can't remember if he thought the street was too wide or too narrow. It was one of the others. They built this Wild West looking set town, and he made them tear down both sides and start again. It's all we need to do is move one side. He's no, tear it all down. And of course, there were parts where he delayed shooting for hours because he didn't like how the clouds in the sky looked, and he wanted them to wait until it looked better. All kinds of stuff. But yeah, we covered that in there.
Waiting for the perfect, it's 5 minutes per day where the light was perfect the way he wanted it, and he had to keep shooting. And just such a waste.
Yeah. Mentioned this before. Actually, I was watching one of our other live commentaries, and somehow we got on the topic of not on him, but of movies, because he did a movie called, I think it was Year of the Dragon, that I still want to see. That was a big bomb in around 85. But this time he didn't. By this time he'd lost all his credibility because it was 85 and stuff, and It was a movie about like Asian street gangs in New York, and it was a horrible failure too.
Wow, it sounds really interesting.
Although it wasn't on his big scale, of course, because by now, like, he wasn't like on the pedestal he'd been on. But I've always wanted to see it just to see what it's like.
Mickey Rourke.
Yep.
Oh, Oliver Stone co-wrote the screenplay.
Yeah, so I guess he still had some clout after all.
But by the way, Jared Leto will be 49 in December, so we were fairly close.
Yeah. But I just mean he's reached a point in the last few years where his look makes it so like you can't really tell his age because of that. Because he's got like the hair back and the beard and his wild eyes. Like
playing the Joker and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was the Joker in Suicide Squad.
Was he not in Birds of Prey?
No. They just talk about him, but they don't actually. Or he might be in it for a few seconds. I can't remember. It's only flashback stuff. I'm gonna watch that again soon just to make myself mad because I've got access to it.
As much as I'd like to see Harley Quinn, it's not worth it for me to watch that movie.
And it's a waste too because like Roby herself plays the role pretty well, and the role is pretty well written. It's just like I can't stand everything around it. And I really hate seeing Black Mask wasted. Terrible use of Black Mask.
Didn't they when it first went to theaters, it was Harley Quinn's Bird of Prey, right?
Yeah, it was like Birds of Prey, I'm trying to remember how it goes. Because it has like a super long title too, because it's like the Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn's like Amazing Emancipation of blah blah blah, like a really long title.
Oh no, they've changed the name for the home video release, I think.
Basically, just to like highlight Quinn a little more,
right? Because she was the standout in Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
understandable.
There's going to be another Suicide Squad movie, but I don't think it's going to acknowledge the last one. I don't know. DC's all fucked up with their.
Man, they need to. I don't know what they need to do, but they need to settle down. Because they are screwing stuff up left and right over there.
Yeah, Birds of Prey is just the name of the film, but then you've got in parenthesis, in the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Oh, fantabulous?
I mean, I don't know. It fits the way she talks, I guess.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't mind the title. I just mind what's in it.
You just hate the film.
Title's fine.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste any more time on DC films until I get the green light from someone like you.
Yeah, I've actually liked that the Batman thing a lot. It looks good, which is weird for me to say. Maybe it's just because I hated Ben Affleck so much that seeing this just makes me feel better. I don't know, but I don't know. It looks pretty good. I really like how dark and mysterious it is.
Andrew Garfield, is that right?
No, it's the other British guy, Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. Okay, I get those guys mixed up all the time.
Yeah, it's Robert Pattinson, and he's definitely not what I would picture, but I don't know. I'm willing to give it a chance.
Acting,
right? But I can't remember who they show. Catwoman. Catwoman's played by a black actress, which I guess is fine. Like I don't have any big notes about that, but
as long as she's hot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get a good look at her. But I like that preview a lot, that trailer, actually. I've watched it a few times, and I liked it a lot. It's a very different take on Riddler, which is not really what I love. I don't really like the Riddler being so dark and deadly, but I don't hate it either, and I'm willing to see it.
I'm just glad they're not putting the Joker in there again, straight out of the gate, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you can look good in black leather, you can play Catwoman.
Catwoman, yeah. I mean, you only see her for a second in that trailer. It's her, like, I don't know, trying to open a safe or a vault or something. She doesn't even have any dialogue.
It's like the only time I don't despise Sharon Stone.
The only time I don't... What, in Catwoman?
No, in Batman Returns.
Okay, I was so confused.
Oh, that's Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm sorry. That's Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay. Because isn't Sharon Stone like the bad guy in the Catwoman movie with Halle Berry?
You may be right.
That's why I got all confused. I shouldn't, because I shouldn't even acknowledge that there's a Catwoman movie because it's such horseshit, so divorced from everything. That was weird, because that was just like using the title. Like that wasn't even supposed to be like DC Universe or anything. It was just like, let's just use the name Catwoman and make up our own weird story about it. And that's what they did. And like, Halle Berry, you're really big right now. How about you wear this embarrassing costume?
It was a throwaway movie.
She's like, fuck it, I want my Oscar, I'll do it.
Yeah. I want a Razzie too.
I think she got it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer. It's funny when you say the only thing. It's funny because it's not related; it just comes to the mistake. But the only time I like Sharon Stone is in the movie The Quick and the Dead.
Yeah, I like
the only
that.
time I like her, and the only time I really find her attractive. Now, I'm not saying she's like repulsive in other movies. Obviously not. I'm just saying there's other stuff going on that makes me like no. But,
I feel exactly the same way, man. I never found her very attractive. I mean, she's not ugly by any means. It's just not what I'm into.
Yeah, but I actually the most attractive I find her is in that movie. I love that movie. That's Sam Raimi.
She does good in that, and Leo DiCaprio's in that too, right?
Yeah, one of the many films he dies in. Spoilers. It's not really a spoiler though. If it's a Leto DiCaprio movie, it's like a 60-40 chance he dies.
We should do the math on that. Does he die in the Bear movie he won the Oscar for?
I never saw it all the way through, so I don't know. Probably not, because that's a movie about survival. He probably doesn't die in that. Because I think the whole point is like he almost dies, but then he doesn't.
Yeah, he and Tom Hardy have a big battle at the end. I think he kills Tom Hardy.
I'll watch it someday. I just have not been into that.
I liked it quite a bit. But I like Leo.
I like Leo a lot. I was thinking like he dies in Romeo and Juliet. He dies in Titanic. He dies in The Quick and the Dead. There's at least 3 or 4 more where he dies.
Does he die in Gilbert Grape? The mom dies.
No, the mom dies.
Go look at his filmography. I know he dies in more.
He might die in Blood Diamond, which I've never seen.
It's not good. It's a stupid premise for a film, but The Departed.
Oh yeah, he dies in The Departed.
He doesn't die in Catch Me If You Can. He dies in Gangs of New York, right?
You're right. He dies. There. Those are the ones I couldn't remember. Gangs of New York and The Departed. So yeah, that was to add to his tally. He dies in those two. So yeah, he dies in quite a few.
What about The Beach? I've never actually seen that.
I don't think so. That's a weird mind fuck of a movie that's not worth it. That movie's just more about like showing off like attractive bodies than having any kind of story.
The Basketball Diaries, that's one I've wanted to cover on the show before.
Yeah, he doesn't die in that, but he like...
Does he not? I know he's like addicted to heroin or something, right?
Yeah. It's one of them. Yeah, he has a really intense performance in it where he's like flipping out and going through withdrawals and stuff. Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah, we might do it. I haven't seen it in a while. Man, I wonder if that's on... That might be on Prime right now. Maybe I'm wrong.
He did a bunch of good stuff like as a child.
Oh, yeah.
Like This Boy's Life. I love that movie.
And I mean, I think he got some acclaim for the performance in Gilbert Grape because I understand that that's kind of a weird area because he's playing like a kid that has like some sort of mental situation going on there.
Never go full R word.
Yeah, as they say. Fruits basket. Anyway, we can wrap here so we don't drag this out. But anyway, that was The Prophecy, everybody, which is, I don't know, just one of those 90s movies that I have good memories of that I like, and I think still holds up pretty well. Not the best effects or anything, but I think it has some nice, snappy writing, which delivered well by the actors, obviously Christopher Walken most, but also Viggo Mortensen and a few others. They just have some good lines. I mean, Virginia Madsen, unfortunately, she doesn't really have anything special or good to do in the movie. She's just kind of there, but that's okay. I don't know. I've always liked the movie, and I like its soundtrack too. Although I couldn't really hear it with the thing going on. It has like some synthy kind of stuff going on to sound sort of, I don't know, ethereal or make you think religion. I don't know, God, angels. It's not great, but it fits the movie. I'm not saying you would put on a CD of it and just listen to it, but it fits the movie pretty well. So I don't know. I've always liked the movie. It's too bad its sequels are also crappy. But yeah, it's just a comfort movie that I thought would be good for a live commentary, and we'll get a few more going in the weeks to come. But thanks for being with us, guys, and we'll catch you all next time.
Thanks.
All right, have a good night. Bye.
Arterial driving music.